Well, hello and good evening. This is Ramblin' Randy, Jedi One, whatever you want to call me. This is just going out, as you can see from the screen. I don't have a lot of views on this because I'm only sending this out to a few people, mostly contacting you folks, you influencers, to let you know what I'm going to be doing. We're going to be studying your content, and we're going to be having a membership drive where your actual listeners that sit on their dead backside every day and listen to your valuable content that you bust your backside creating just to sit there and wait for tomorrow's show to come. Each one of you influencers, be it John B., be it Rex Bear, be it the BCP, Black Conservative Patriot, be it Sean at SGT, be it Dave at X22, be it Joe Roop at his platform and all of his hosts over at the Fringe FM, Clyde Lewis or Jimmy Church, and those that I'm missing that I personally follow. All of those people, all of those influencers have followers. Those followers would very much like to support, or once they understand the dynamic of what I call conscious entanglement, if they're sitting listening to your content and they're not doing anything to cause change, then if they don't contribute to your ongoing effort, they're literally internally considering your content to be worthless. Because until they actually show value by reciprocate value, we teach a culture that if you gain value in any form, be it one of these videos, be it a picture that you see that someone's taking, like that famous picture of that sailor kissing that girl. If you get one of those bad boys, if you're part of our little army of eyes and ears, that's going to be one that you could probably take to the bank and hang your hat on a pretty good little lick from value that others will see in that picture. But so value comes in many forms. An article, a smile. How much is a smile worth on a bad day? Worth a damn penny? I think so. So that's what we're going to do, is something new, something no one else has ever done. Facebook, Twitter, and all those people, they just steal value, and they're now starting to weaponize monetization of these YouTube sites, like on Sean's X22 and many others. I believe John B. might have been demonetized. I don't know, but he mentions them being a Achilles heel deal, and we all know that. That's why about 3 years ago I started working on a platform that we're going to be introducing here in about a couple weeks. We've got a member of our programming team's wife, our lead programmer. His wife is in bad shape in the hospital, so health trumps all. So we'll be up soon, and our prayers go out to Amanda. So what we're doing is we have created a website that looks just like Facebook. It looks exactly like Facebook. We duped it. And we did this some time back for the American tribe, the Cherokee tribe, the entire nation. They needed they wanted a social platform just for the Indians, and so my programmer actually did the programming for the entire Cherokee Nation's private social network. Looks just like Facebook. So we're going to be using that instead of likes and retweets and various things like that. It'll be a penny, nickel, dime, quarter. Now, someone could come in that could become a member of the Seekers of Sanity, the Silent Supporter Society, and the Rabbit Hole Herald all in one big click. And they then, when an article like I'm fixing to show you that John B., powerful, powerful deal over here on, and I'll just go to John B.'s site that I'm fixing to create this very video that you're listening to now. I'm fixing to be creating that. Is that John B? Is that Ozzy Wells right there? Oh, I'll be. That's amazing. Okay, so John B does do some terrestrial stuff, and this is his YouTube site, and I do believe that this may be the one right here that I am referencing that we're going to start. And simply by it is okay. This is a killer, and I'm going to start this at 155 mark, and I'm going to make this, and what you'll see after, I'm going to put it on pause and complete the rest of this video, but it is just, I want you to go to the minute 55, and as a matter of fact, let me just cue it up here. We'll put y'all on hold, and then I'm going to cue it up. Okay, I got it queued up here at the right spot. It's going to start about the 154.33 second mark if you want to go over to John B. And by the way, subscribe to John B's site. What you got to do is YouTube is come over here and come down to subscribe. You can see I'm subscribed, and click on that button, and then click on this little bell. Every time that he does a YouTube, it will it'll notify you, and you'll be able to come over and take a look. So subscribe to John B. Eventually I'll get through to him. I'm sending him these messages so that when we do launch that he gets full benefit, because his wife's fighting a big battle down there with South Africa, and I know that every penny would count, and so that's what I'm doing this for. And by the way, just for all influencers, to let you know, this is going to be fully transparent, 100% transparent. I have enough in this thing to buy 2 Bentleys. I'm giving this to the world, to the patriots, to help save this country. So that's me paying it forward. We will be offering to the people access to this, to where they can post their content based on what they see from my influencers, and the influencers that they introduce me to. We'll add them daily, the influencers, but we will only take content from any of the influencers that will fit our educational profile. Now, John B. is a full-blown, what I'd call an educator. His tone of voice, everything's right, and so is BCP. And Rex Bear is off the hook intelligent in a different genre. But all the things that we're talking about here on this battle between we're just going to call it greed on steroids. Greed on steroids. It started back at the Battle of Waterloo and before, really, to present, and sovereignty. So that's really the battle that's going on. All of this crap that we're going through here on the superficial foot soldier level, like the grunts, that go in. Everybody would hear about what I did with the Navy, and they would want to know about all the stuff, that I must have done. Well, in the danger I must have been in. Well, hell, everybody's in danger. Drinking their beer, you're in danger. But I give all credit where credit's due. Those grunts on the front line were in a hell of a lot worse shape than I was laying in a rice paddy over in Laos. Okay, on the wrong side of the river. But God bless them and the horse they rode in on. It's a terrible shame that we were fighting for a mercenary group back in the day. But anyway, that's a whole different story. Let's stay on point here. As John B. would say, let's get nose up, right rudder, take this thing out of the pattern. And we got work to do, eh, John B.? So listen to what John B. found. He found this cat right here. And that's why I'm going for influencers, so that they spend a lot of time finding these people. I have spent damn a year and a half getting close to 4 of them. And these cats, like John B. grabs these people, it's because of their experience, and I guess their little book that they got on people. But hell, I can't get through to them. So that's what prompted me to do what I'm doing. I'm doing the show I'm doing the show before and after the show. In other words, the late night shows I analyze, have people analyze them with me. We're going to cut them up. We're going to put them on here. That's going to be study material for people to go over and study, that they can post their comments over in the Rabbit Hole Herald. Also, whichever influencer, like if it's a Rex Bear or BCP or John B. or Clyde or Jimmy Church. Jimmy's still in this deal. I talked to Jimmy the other day. I think Jimmy's getting a little tired of me because a year and a half of me telling Jimmy I'm going to be ready in a week. I think that Jimmy doesn't think I went south or something mentally, but that's okay. That's really a not debatable point, by the way. I've already been classified by many as being completely, totally insane. But let me tell you about what I think about that. Is that if we get enough people, if we get enough people that are just like us, totally insane, where we reach critical mass, then totally insane becomes normal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what I'm after is critical mass and being able to bring people into this stuff right here. This is the hot stuff out there. These guys like John B. Upper Left and all these cats right here, Jay Dyer and the beautiful ladies, Diamond and Silk, all these people are on the front line. Now, John B. and the influencers, they're like back in the tent. You know what I mean? They're the ones that's coming up with all this stuff, and then they're throwing it out there on these shows to the people running point in the bush. You know what I mean? This is your intel. Well, I was in a little bit different situation, and we knew exactly what we were going to do down to the damn near 5 minutes. And if you wasn't at checkpoint Charlie, whatever, the chopper's going to come and go. So I become quite sensitive to time, and my kids will damn sure tell you that. But that's why they call me rambling. But let me get over here to powerful work that John B. has done. Now just listen up. This is going to take a while, but I still want you to come over here to this site, and I want you to register, and I want you to go to BCP. I'll be telling you all about those as you come and you subscribe to my channel, the one that you're on right now, and hit that subscribe button if someone turns you on to this, so that you can start getting in the loop. You can start getting in the loop, and you can be a first mover advantage of helping us all find more influencers. We'll have a whole book, just like TalkStream Live's got. We'll have a whole book of these influencers, and then we're going to have people who search. See, I can't follow John B. or Clyde or Jimmy or Troy Speaks over at Red Talk Radio. And Sean does great work on. I can't follow all those people. And so really creating this platform is very biased for me in that I can pose a question on the rabbit hole, which I've got some doozies that I would like to ask for people to help me find some stuff. One of them is which right now, here's a bounty on one. If you can find that quote that Amschmel Rothschild made, and it goes as followed, or this is the gist of it. See if you can find it, and I'm willing to pay. Okay, Truth Pays. I have that domain as well, truthpays.com. I've got Truth or Consequences. Can you believe I've got Truth or Consequences? No one had it? Jesus Christ. Okay, the quote is this. Amschmel Rothschild once made this quote. He said to his 5 sons, Nathan being one of them, "Go out and find me something that we can give to the minions that they desperately want, that will help our agenda without them knowing it, and we can win any battle, especially when we take it away." Okay? So look what's happening. You put people after JFK, I mean after what's his name, Halliburton, can you believe it? Lyndon Johnson. Once he started all these austerity programs, and you got all these people, you want some free money? How about a little something on the 1st and 15th? You in for that? What do I have to do, Mr. Johnson? You don't have to do jack diddly. Just take this cheese right here, and the MD 2020's a blue light special. On the MD 2020. Just have yourself a hoot of a time and look forward to the 1st and 15th. Well, you get people, hellfire. You get people on that kind of mentality, and who's going to not want any cheese? You know, everybody wants to get rid of austerity programs. You know what I mean? And everybody wants to go to heaven, but just not today. You know, everybody wants to get rid of those austerity programs, but wait till Tuesday because I get mine on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So we're funny creatures. And so as we travel together, I'm gonna hit this button here in a minute. I'm rambling, but 14 minutes I'm into this. Let me go ahead and start this, and I'll ramble on a different call. Here we go. Listen to what John B. found. This guy, Peter Chokwa, this right here, Chawa, he has a deal. My God, is he powerful. Now, John B., hook up with me so that you can have these cats that will be, because listen, as you well know, it costs a tremendous amount of money to find people, just to talk to. So there is gratuity that collectively we'll throw at anybody that will help, that's an influencer, that all these people that these influencers have, my God. All that I'm doing, let you know, is that I am a student of these damn Rothschilds, because I was in the oil business, and these people just raped us, as far as taxes, regulations, all that shit. And so I started finding out about these Rothschilds. This has been about 20 years ago. And someone in the oil business, you can do about anything to them, but you start stealing their money, on the sly, without, them really having an inkling. They're doing this so subtly. Anyway, I became very passionate about finding out how this thing works. And let me tell you something. The reason these people do not like Amway, the reason these people don't like, what's more of them things, Shackley, or any of those things, like what is that, the vitamin deal that went south? I knew the guy out there too. Herbalife, and one that I created called SkyBiz. SkyBiz we the first ones to create a replicating website. That's all it was. Damn no replicating website, where anybody can build their own website. And we charged them $100 a month. This has been back in the 80s and or 90s. No, it's in the 90s. And we charged $100 a month, and we had 1.8 million people that joined this thing. And so the feds immediately took heed to what we're doing, because once you start being an influencer in people's money, and you start bringing them money, and they start looking you as being a little bit more so important than they are, then they get pissed. Plus, you get allegiance from people. So I took all these things. I took all my life's experiences and I molded them into this deal. But one thing that I believe in a big guy, or a spirit in the sky, and source of all good, which I believe is a frequency. We won't get into that now. I made a deal. I said, hey, I know exactly how to create this thing that will smoke tires. It will be a fair exchange of value, and I won't take a penny from it if you'll just let me keep studying like I'm doing now. I'm telling this to the angels. And if I make anything, it'll be from the value that people see in me. And I think that I can get me, do what I'm doing right here, and other people can do this on our platform. There's a large church in Houston, Texas, that my father used to know the preacher there. The father's was named John, and the son is named Joel. I let them know about this, and they could use this platform to when they have in their large congregation, probably 10 million globally, if a missionary comes up there, it's talking at the big church there that used to be the Summit. Am I giving this away? And a missionary comes in, and old Joel, or his beautiful blonde-headed wife, says, we're all members of the Silent Supporters Society, and this missionary is going to give great value to the church. Let the Spirit move you. And see, all this is app-based, or it's what's not an app, but it's able to access from your phone, a dynamic website, because we need more security than an app will provide. Boy, we're going to have crosshairs all over us. But anyway, that church could use it. So there's a lot of different things but my application is for the Patriots. I have a vendetta against the Federal Reserve Bank, and until I'm praying so hard that the golden-headed wonder that's now in charge, excuse me, standing in front of a picture of Andrew Jackson gives me great hope. It gives me great hope. Because until people realize it's not about this deal going on here, they're trying to level the U.S. I mean, that's obvious. And they're working on an obvious global control or global order. But they have one big problem. It's where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. And I can assure you they feel the ripples in their matrix that I'm doing right now. Yes, they are. We'll have chats about that kind of thing as well. But listen to this. I bet you didn't know this about Morrison. Jim Morrison. Listen to what John B. says about what Jim Morrison of the Doors, what his father did as an occupation. And then I'm going to play a little bit of what Peter's got to say, then we'll close this out. Listen to this.
To send heroin back in sea bags, stuff like that. Yeah, the Gulf of Tonkin, how about that? The lead singer of the Doors, Jim Morrison's father, Admiral Morrison, was the commander of the Tonkin Gulf Fleet. If he were here to speak, he might even be inclined in this day and age, after witnessing the Republic attempt to crater as it is doing, he might go ahead and admit that there was no Tonkin Gulf incident.
Oh my God.
There we have it. Anyway, Peter, where were we? We were talking about if you want to rescue somebody, what would you say to them to pull them away from just going toward the fire? You're supposed to go away from the fire, unless you're a SEAL, and we're talking about gunfire.
Yeah, in a nutshell, everything is a choice in life. And for the left, rushing headlong towards statist, socialist, globalist solutions, I would just try to make the point that the facts suggest otherwise, that it's a Faustian bargain and you're making the wrong choice. But I agree with you the last half hour when you said some people are just beyond rational thought anymore. They've lost the ability to think. They're illogical. So it's really an uphill battle. By the way, before we conclude this half hour, I'd like to take 2 or 3 minutes to break some news, and I'm confident that in so doing, this will be the first radio or television program in the country to really hear this. And according to the editor of American Thinker, it's a blockbuster.
Well, you just take it away, Peter.
All right, let's go there right now, because in your little intro to this, your intro to this half hour, you mentioned some anomalies in the 20th century history of the United States and the curious role of agencies like the CIA, for example. Well, 2 days ago, Thomas Lifson, the founder, co-founder, publisher, and editor of American Thinker, published a blog. This was September 26th, titled Mitt Romney Advisor Sits on Burisma Board of Directors. Now, the credit for this originally goes to a very small Twitter account which unearthed this, and Thomas, in his article, gives this account credit. But he explains how the Iranian gas company, Burisma, that's so much in the news now, that paid Joe Biden's son, Hunter, $50,000 a month for 5 years of sitting on its board. Well, in 2011, Mitt Romney chose as a special advisor to him in his campaign a former CIA operative, Big Shot, who, after he advised Mitt Romney for several years, got appointed to the Burisma Board of Directors. Isn't that something? Now, not only that, the plot thickens beyond that, because you might wonder, well, this is public information. This is open source. Why haven't we heard about this? And why wasn't the American Thinker article? American Thinker is widely read by some very important opinion makers. Why has that blockbuster story, as Thomas described it to me before he uploaded it to the site, why haven't we heard about it? Well, I employed several of my most powerful or highest level contacts in the media, including in the conservative media. and I gave them this story that Thomas developed on a silver platter. And let's say that they backed away from it because of, shall we say, a potential conflict of interest. I really can't say any more about that without possibly giving away or compromising my contacts and sources.
Understood.
But this is a mind-boggling story that one of Mitt Romney's top advisors was not some special agent of the CIA, but a man who had worked there for 3 decades, and he went on to work for Blackwater after that. And now he's at Burisma, and the media doesn't want to touch it.
Well, we're touching it.
We're touching it, and I think it should really go far and wide. I hope that other people in the new media, in the alternative media, whatever you want to call it, start looking into this story because, and who now, by the way, is emerging as, again, a leading critic of President Trump and we deplorables and what he's trying to do, none other than Mitt Romney. So what goes here? I don't know. Asking some questions, and I hope others follow up on this because this is a potentially big story. But you asked at the end of the last half hour, what do I foresee when I look at my crystal ball, so to speak, coming the year ahead, leading up to the 2020 election for president and Congress 13 months from now.
Oh, man.
And I made some notes quickly. I think it was Shakespeare who wrote comparisons are odious. And I would paraphrase, in this case, predictions are odious. Yes, we can predict it's going to be a rocky, unpleasant road, but the specifics are very elusive to nail down at this point. But, when I try to imagine, I think, how can we have, assuming that President Trump withstands this impeachment move, and I hope you're right about.
Okay, folks, before we leave, I just wanted to point something out here real quickly over at the Leak Project, Rex Bear's Leak Project. Powerful. Come over and subscribe to him as well as hit the little bell so that when he does videos, he does a lot of videos though. What you may want to do is continuously check, or what I'll be doing is pulling content of his, some of his articles and highlighting those just like I've done over on the one prior. But I wanted to point out one. Brad Olson, I met Brad up there at Contact in the Desert. Powerful individual. You would not believe some of the work that Rex Bear does researching the things like this in Hollow Earth. I know that a lot of people, aren't into that too much because you haven't been exposed to some of the things that you might want to take a look at. What Rex does so much. It's just mind blowing. But the other day he did he did one on the Fed. And there's a lot that Rex does, and he researches so deeply. This one on the Fed is absolutely powerful one that he did there on the
Searching
Fed.
for a beach vacation.
And,
Find it.
So be sure and come over and subscribe to Rex as well. And let me skip this ad. And this is Rex on an interview.
So meat and potatoes, if you see it, you're going to say it. If you don't, you won't. And you're not adding any fluff, any BS. You call it how you see it, and I like that about you. And you know a lot of stuff that other people don't about military tactics, etc. So what do you see going on right now with Iran and the tensions in the Middle East, especially after the recent tankers, or was it in Saudi Arabia, where the Saudi Arabia and Iran now are going back and forth, blaming each other for their problems?
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie or heard the movie called Wag the Dog?
Classic, love it. Yes.
So that's what's going on here. Look, the only thing.
This is a very powerful one. I'm going to come back and highlight this one, but I'm running long on this video here, so I want to go ahead and wrap it up. But Rex has a powerful show that he's doing, and also BCP over on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel as well. He has some powerful work out there, and is a good educator. So when we have 15 or 20 good influencers, because a lot of times people will stay right there with the same influencer all the time. We love that because you will know that we won't miss anything on the other shows, and you bring them to the rabbit hole, the ones that are powerful, those powerful ones that that someone who follows along is the only way that you could find them is by someone staying with that particular influencer. Bring it to the rabbit hole and let the rest of us know. And this way we create a mind hive of intelligence. This isn't, I'm not doing this just for crapping and giggles. I'm trying to, and here is Sean, SGT. He has been demonetized by YouTube. And John B can get a hold of him, but I can't get a hold of John B. And what I need is 1 million plus minds. When we get 1 million plus minds and we start kind of having some discussions on how to work with what God gave you, which is your co-creative powers that we all have already. What you don't realize is that every single thing that you do, you are conjuring this up through intent. And I'm going to go into things like that. But by God, if I could get myself 100,000 people that have been taught same thing that D-Ram taught us back in the Navy. That's Dr. What's his crazy name? Dr. Richard Allen Miller. He did a lot of stuff for people in the Navy. And so anyway, is to understand that if you want to get up out of a chair, you got to have an initial exciter thought. And then a lot of auto things kick in, but you have to continuously feed either by auto response or intentionally feed and give that thought continuous growth. And the growth is your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. Every single thing that we have out here went through that process, and I can show you that and actually prove it to you. So we're co-creators with the source. And there's steps that you take that you can go about and give thanks for being a co-creator of that event that just happened to you in life. When you start recognizing it, that means that you're focusing your attention on that very thing that just happened. And then if you do that, more of that very thing is going to aggregate in that spot. In other words, you're going to start manifesting it. And I'm getting into what's called scalar theory. But that's for another day. And also, I'm being redundant because I've shown these before. But there's very few people that are following me now. It's just you influencers. I'm sending this to you direct. This is Dave over at X22, another powerful creator. That's all I have for this evening. I've gone long. I hope that you've watched it all and have found some value to it. I hope you did. By the way, Sean has got a backup channel right here too. And go over and subscribe to it as well. They're trying to shadow ban Sean over there. Sean, if you happen to get this, I'll send you a blind copy on Twitter. And if I can get a hold of John B, I know he knows Sean. I've heard the interaction before, as well as they know each other over at all of them know each other at X22. Knows these folks. So there's that little book I was telling you about. Whoever lands these people, I'll just be quite candid with you. You're going to have a very nice journey. Because that's of extreme value. Thank y'all very much for listening. This is Ramblin' Randy, and until next time, everything in life starts with a single thought. Have great thoughts and you'll have a great life. And once a person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life learns the truth, they either cease to be mistaken or they cease to be honest. What say you? Ramblin' Randy, we down.